Hello, everybody. This is Paul from Off Grid Desert Farming News with Paul and Adrian, and we are honored again to have Larry Johnson, former CIA analyst, all around great guy. Welcome to the channel again, Larry. Uh,
Thanks, Paul.
it is since we spoke in last, everything has just went to hell, I guess, as you can call it. Donald Trump keeps thinking that he is in charge of this war, but evidently he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And Iran keeps talking about there won't be a ceasefire because they are in control. So I want to play this clip before I get your comment. This is the foreign minister of Iran telling the world that, hey, we're not going to have a ceasefire.
I don't think the question of talking with Americans or negotiation with Americans once again would be on the table, because we have a very bitter experience of talking with Americans. We negotiated with them last year in last June, and they attacked us in the middle of negotiations. And again this year, they tried to convince us that this time is different. They promised us that they don't have any intention to attack us. And they wanted to resolve Iran's nuclear question peacefully and to find a negotiated solution, and we finally accepted. But again, after 3 rounds of negotiation, and after the American team in the negotiation, said itself that we made a big progress, still they decided to attack us. So I don't think, talking with Americans anymore would be, on our agenda anymore.
So he's basically stating that, negotiations are over. What doesn't Trump understand that he's not in charge of this war right now? Can you bring us up to date?
Well, clearly the United States has failed to cause a regime change, and that was the ultimate goal, or the penultimate goal, because the ultimate goal is to get complete control of the oil and gas in Iran, to have it under U.S. control so Israel can have full access to it. So Trump, once again, they start to feel the heat. I mean, I don't know about where you are. Gas here in Florida, and this was 3 days ago, had gone up 50 cents a gallon in 1 week.
Wow.
So I suspect it's continued to go up today. And it's going up across the United States, and you start to see all the Democrats now are coming out saying, "Hey, this war, war of choice, is now costing the American taxpayer a lot of money." So in the past, Trump, last June 25th, Trump cut a deal with Iran. He said, "Look, we got to bring this to an end. We'll stop, and we'll make sure the Israelis stop bombing you. You got to stop bombing them. What we'll do, we're going to attack your nuclear target so we can say that we destroyed them, and then you can hit our military base in Qatar." And Iran stupidly, foolishly agreed to that deal. Now, jump ahead to February 28th, actually February 26th, the Thursday. There are meetings in Geneva between Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. It said that the U.S. initially was unhappy, but then was happy with the results at the end. The Iranians were saying, "Hey, we made more progress here than we ever have." Oman, who was mediating it, was saying this was the best, session ever. So people are very optimistic that we are going to go forward to further negotiations on Monday, March 2nd. But Donald Trump had other plans. They were lying all along to Iran. And when they launched the surprise attack Saturday morning, they killed the Ayatollah Khamenei, as well as several senior military and intelligence officials. The war was on. And in the same way that the United States reacted when the Japanese launched Pearl Harbor, which was seen, while we were doing negotiations with the Japanese, and then we felt like we were sucker punched. Now that's not a great analogy, because there's ample evidence that the United States was provoking Japan into this war. But in this case, Iran was not taking any offensive action towards us. And we didn't just kill the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and his wife, but his daughter-in-law and his granddaughter. Now, why is that important? Well, Mustafa Khamenei, the son of the Ayatollah, was just elected as the new supreme leader of Iran. That was his wife that was murdered by the United States. That was his baby girl that was murdered by the United States. I don't know any decent man in the world that would let the United States off the hook for murdering his family. So I think we got a heavy karma bill to pay, and it's coming due, and it's our own damn fault.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that Americans are supporting this. I mean, you know, when are they going to wake up? Because as you stated before in a lot of your interviews, that Iran's killed maybe 5 or 6,000 people over the last 20 or 30 years, and we've killed millions in Iraq, Libya, Syria, all throughout the Middle East. But yet Americans are rallying around Pete Hegseth, which is just as crazy, I think, as Donald Trump. Psychopath. They're all psychopaths. But I mean, Trump came on. We had the oil spike on Sunday night to about $117, $119 a barrel, and then Trump came on Monday. Oh, this is just a small incursion. The war's going to be over.
Just temporary. Oh, any moment now.
Yeah, it's temporary. But in gas, it's the price of oil is about $85 a barrel, I think, about now. But it should be 150 or 200.
Well, it's going back up now because. Again, the market was initially bamboozled by Trump into believing that there was an imminent settlement. And it's, in fact, Trump is trying to get a ceasefire right now. He's made multiple attempts. The Iranians have admitted that. What he forgets is Iran has a vote. And Iran's saying no.
Yeah, I mean, they're in. I guess Hegseth in our State Department and Trump especially, he doesn't understand that he's not in control because Iran. I mean, they can bomb them to hell. They can bomb them another 6 months if they don't stop the missile launches. Iran is still in control. They've got the strait blocked, and Trump said, "Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is open," and no, it's not, Mr. Trump. I mean, I don't know what planet you're living on, but how is this going to affect? I mean, we've got France now sending their aircraft carrier strike group. They said that they're going to open the Straits of Hormuz, and we're sending our aircraft carrier back, I guess, the Lincoln. How is that going to work out for us? Are we going to actually open it? Are we going to have all of our sailors die when Iran attacks our ships?
Yeah, good luck with that, France. They keep forgetting that Iran has missiles and drones. They don't have to go out in ships to confront other ships. They can do it for a standoff from shore. So it's insanity. What people don't realize, and I was listening to one of the apologists on Fox News for the Trump administration. She was saying that, let's look back at 1973 when there was the Arab oil embargo. This is not like that. We're now energy independent. This is not that bad. And I'm going, good God. It is. Hang on here. I gotta keep getting these calls. She doesn't understand that this is the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. This is the first time in history that it has been closed. And we're not just talking about stopping the flow of oil, which, 21% of the world's supply flows through there. But we're also talking about the end of the shipment of liquid natural gas. Again, that's about 30% of the world's supply. And the supply of urea. And you're going, what? What's that all about? That's called fertilizer. So this is something actually I wasn't aware of until just learning this the other day. The Persian Gulf accounts for about a 35% of total supply of fertilizer for the world. Fertilizer that's essential for growing crops. So right now, with this is now the 13th day of the cutoff, and when you disrupt markets like that, and if it continues, this is going to trigger the most catastrophic economic collapse that we've seen in over the last 200 years. I mean, it's going to affect people globally. Their food supplies are going to dry up. The potential for famine will increase. So this is Iran, in doing this, has acquired great leverage over the West. Because in the past, if Iran had tried something like this, it would have been condemned by the world. It wouldn't have had any support whatsoever, because it did it just out of anger, or the fact that it was suffering under sanctions. But the fact that the United States and Israel attacked it unprovoked and killed children and other political figures who were not engaged with any offensive action against us. Oh my God, this is for Iran. This has now become an existential fight, and they're going to carry it out to the end.
Yeah, I don't blame them one bit. I mean, let's talk about this fuel shortage. Now, I've been hearing reports that nations around the world, they are panicking because they know that some countries rely totally on imports for their energy needs, and they're talking about private airports that the diesel fuel, the air, what do you call it, jet fuel. There's going to be massive shortages. Like you said, the natural gas, 25% of the natural gas comes out. Didn't America and Europe shoot themselves in the foot by putting these sanctions on Russia? Now, Russia, they're sitting over there pretty. They've got oil, they've got gas, but it was against the law to buy oil and natural gas from Russia. So Donald Trump, I guess he's going to ease sanctions on Russia. But what is Putin? I mean, he's like, oh, this is a good opportunity to make a lot of money for him, because now, they're a big exporter of fertilizer also, but all that fertilizer was cut off from Russia. It looks like Putin's really going to benefit from this war while the rest of the world's going to suffer. Let
me correct you on that. They never cut off, the fertilizer was never cut off from Russia. Russia is the other major exporter of fertilizer.
Oh, so they didn't cut it off, huh?
Oh, no, that was not, to my knowledge, that was never sanctioned. They just sanctioned the oil.
Oh, okay. But I believe Russia, they supply a lot of fertilizer, but it is getting out of hand, and our gas has went up maybe, like you said, 50 cents or something. But we should be seeing, I mean, in California, I guess it reached almost $9 a gallon, $8.29. But if this war is not concluded, let's say by the end of the week, okay, if Donald Trump can't convince Iran to ceasefire, or what is going to happen to Israel? Israel is being pounded. They said that they're stealing the missile defenses from South Korea. They're important. I mean, they're disarming South Korea, and they're shipping it over to the Middle East. If this war is not stopped, what is Israel going to do? Are they going to do their Samson option to stop the war? Because Iran said, we're not stopping until we destroy Israel. And I agree that they have every right to do that. But what do you see if this war doesn't stop?
Well, no, I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Unless, I believe that Iran has a very large inventory of ballistic missiles, especially their most modern versions that are more than capable of defeating any air defense system that Israel or the West has developed. So they are reportedly, Iran reportedly is targeting power stations, oil refineries, the ports, military bases, military intelligence headquarters in Israel, and is hitting them successfully. So Israel is feeling the pain, and then it's compounded by the fact that Hezbollah has now started an offensive from the north, and Israel tries, every time they try to go into southern Lebanon with a military force, they get ambushed. They're fighting in territory that's not their home ground, and despite the claims that they had decimated Hezbollah with all, the exploding cell phones, no, they haven't. So this, I think Israel it's committing a form of suicide, and you can't prevent it. It is, it's like if anybody's ever had a family member who is a drug addict or an alcoholic, and until they themselves came to the realization, I can't keep doing this, I must stop, there was nothing you could do to stop them. And that's Israel. Israel is a crazed, a violence addict, and they're not going to stop. And so what they've done is they are literally sowing the seeds of their own destruction.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, you would have thought that they would have learned last June in the 12-day war that we're not going to come out on top. But let's talk about the latest debacle that I believe Trump is going to get us into. I played a video last night of Richard Blumenthal, I guess that's his name, stating that he just got out of a intelligence briefing, and that Trump is hell-bent on sending ground troops into Iran, and he is very concerned about that. And then we have Caroline Levitt right here. I'm going to play this clip in a second, talking about 150 troops wounded. Let me go ahead and play this clip and then get your comment on this. That I think it's more over about 1,000, but she said 150, and still, I guess, only 6 or 7 people dead.
Questions for you today. Alex.
Thank you. Reuters has reported that about 150 U.S. service members have been injured so far. Can you confirm that number and elaborate on that?
I can't confirm the exact number. I know it's within that ballpark, but I would defer you to the Pentagon for a specific number of wounded or injured thus far.
So my research that I've done, about 4 days ago, the death total was like 560. And from what Iran is saying and from what they're doing, I think it's well over 1,000. We now have Kuwait being evacuated, Saudi Arabia's bases being evacuated, our bases destroyed. Are we ever going to know the true number of American deaths and wounded, or are we just going to cover it up?
Well, for now, they're covering it up. We will eventually know. So I wrote last, was it Thursday? Yeah, just about a week ago, that there have been two critical indicators that the casualties were worse than being reported. Now, right now, we have confirmed 8 dead. I think that number is higher. I think it may be closer to, say, 20. But the Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany, which is a hospital, about 40 miles northwest of Stuttgart, it announced on March 4th, so I believe that would have been a week ago, Tuesday. No, actually a week ago today. It would have been March 4th. Sorry. That all maternity services, all OBGYN procedures were no longer going to be offered at the hospital because the hospital had to focus on its primary mission. Well, its primary mission is the principal evacuation point for wounded U.S. military personnel. And then the next day, so that would have been last Thursday, the Stars and Stripes at a base that's called Kaiserslautern. Kaiserslautern is 13 miles east of Landstuhl. And they were making requests for blood donors. We need a bunch of blood donors. Well, okay. That tells you right away you've got a lot of serious casualties. If you're going to need blood donors and bolster your supply of blood. So that told me right away that there were much higher casualties than being reported. And then a picture emerged late Thursday. Was it Thursday? It was either Thursday or Wednesday, but it showed these big vans that are used to transport wounded personnel from an airport to the Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. And so these medical evacuation flights arrived at Andrews Air Force Base, and then the wounded soldiers were being offloaded and taken to Walter Reed. So, this is bigger. The United States is suffering casualties, and if they decide to proceed with, I don't know how they're going to put boots on the ground. How they do that.
Well, I think I have the answer. We reported on this that they're planning on using the 82nd Airborne, the 101st. They're going to airdrop them behind the mountains, and supposedly 100,000 troops in the first initial drop. And this is going to be a total disaster. But I want to play this clip from Blumenthal, and he is very, very upset that Trump is going to do boots on the ground. So let me go ahead and play this and get your reaction.
On the ground in Iran, we seem to be most concerned about the threat to American lives of potentially deploying our sons and daughters on the ground in Iran. We seem to be on a path toward deploying American troops on the ground in Iran to accomplish any of the potential objectives here. And there is also, as disturbingly as anything else, the specter of active Russian aid to Iran, putting in danger American lives.
So he's saying that he just got out of a Senate foreign briefing, and you could see his hands were shaking, and when he was talking, he was very upset. So evidently, Trump and they've ran out of options. The regime change didn't work. The people didn't overthrow the government. They can't stop the missile launching, and I believe our Pentagon is in panic mode. Can you comment on this?
Well, they ought to be, and I think it's ultimately going to have to defy Donald Trump. We may need a couple of general officers to resign and protest and say, no, we are being given illegal orders or an order to do something that's going to needlessly kill thousands of Americans. Look, the use of military ground forces, if you're going to use conventional forces, you're going to need 8 months to build that force up. But what makes today different than 20 years ago or 23 years ago when we did it on the eve of going into Iraq, that we now most countries, Iran in particular, they have ISR. They have access to satellite data from China. They'll know exactly where those bases are located, and they've got missiles that could hit the assembly areas for troops. So the United States, if it doesn't want to have its assembly areas destroyed, is going to have assembly areas outside the range of Iranian missiles, which sort of defeats the idea of how are you going to transport thousands of troops to a point to land, either be dropped from the air or land via an amphibious assault. I mean, it's just it's madness. The notion of dropping even a small, let's call it special operations unit behind the lines, they're not miracle workers. They don't carry unlimited supplies. They have very limited supplies. They can be, it's one thing to drop them for a specific mission to rescue somebody who's in location A, and we're able to provide air cover around. That's one thing. This is not, people want to cite Venezuela as the latest example of our power. That whole thing was just bullshit. It was staged. There were at least three cooperating informants working with the U.S. government who were in key security positions inside Maduro's inner circle. And they were able to get basically the security systems turned off. That's how that happened. It wasn't because of our military competence. It was because the Venezuelans laid down and allowed Maduro to be taken. This isn't the case with Iran. Iran is not doesn't have somebody that's going to betray their country that way and be in a position to do so. There was one general, Kanani was his name, who reportedly was a Mossad asset and had played an instrumental role in the murder, assassination of Nasrallah, the Lebanese head of Hezbollah, more than a year ago. He had arranged a meeting with Nasrallah and his group, and then before the meeting had started, he had to excuse himself. Here, I need to leave to do X, Y, and Z. Boom, they got blown up and killed. That apparently same thing. He did the same thing last year, and he did the same thing on Saturday. And the Iranians finally figured it out. Hey, this guy's a traitor. So they executed him. I don't think there's another one of those in the woodpile for Israel or the United States. So this, once you put troops on the ground, you got to have sustainment, logistics. They're going to run out of ammunition quick. Ammunition's heavy. You can't give a 2-day supply of ammunition would weigh over 50 pounds minimum. Good luck carrying all of that. If that's the only thing you're carrying, that you can carry that. But then what about your food? What about your water? Then the actual rifle itself. So very quickly you find out there are human limits to what they can carry and how long they can last behind enemy lines without a supply line. So that's why this boots on the ground is just ridiculous. They've talked about dropping them maybe onto Karg Island. Karg Island is up in the north part of the Persian Gulf. It's the major, that's where all the Iranian oil comes out of. Okay, walk me through the scenario. So we drop our paratroopers on there. We've seized Karg Island. Strait of Hormuz is still closed. So
how is that going to stop the missiles firing?
So then all Iran has to do is start firing missiles and drones. And then actually the island's close enough to the shore, they can fire artillery as well. Immediately we're going to have severely wounded soldiers. Where's the medevac come from? You got helicopters that are going to fly in and out from where? Saudi Arabia is already the military bases there that the U.S. has been attacked. Same for Bahrain, Kuwait. Now this is people playing a video game that have never done it in real life, and then they're going to find out that it's a non-starter.
Yeah, I mean, we reported about 3 or 4 days ago, and I think you mentioned this too, that Iran stated that there was an incursion by Delta Force Special Ops, and they killed some, they captured some. They've been showing the photos of American soldiers captive. That we actually, I believe this was in conjunction with some Kurds or whatever, and that was a disaster. So isn't this going to be the worst military defeat the United States has suffered since Vietnam War?
Well, it'll be define. What do you mean by worse?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about loss of military equipment, all of our base being destroyed. All of these fighter jets, I think it's maybe up to 7 or 8 F-15, a couple F-35s from Israel. I mean, we've never taken such a beating in such a long time from an enemy that I can remember. I mean, we usually just walk over everybody. So I don't think that we're kind of used to this.
Well, we are certainly very good at telling a story about how great we are.
Yeah, Trump.
So, reminds me of that old Christian song, how great, instead of how great thou art, how great we art. We're the best. No, I think you could look at the loss of military equipment in terms of what we gave the Taliban. I mean, that's orders of magnitude larger on that front. But the reputational damage to the United States from this is the thing that's sort of unrecoverable, because now, despite us claiming to be the best and nobody can defeat us, it's going to be seen that here's Iran, who is not considered a top tier military, has forced us to retreat, and that they have been able to defeat us. And that's not going to go down well with Trump, but doubling down on a losing hand doesn't guarantee, doesn't mean that you're going to be the millionaire walking out of the casino. And that is Iran right now holds the ultimate leverage with controlling the Strait of Hormuz, shutting down those three commodities, oil, liquid natural gas, and urea, and then affecting the global economy in a way that, in order to get the global economy back up and limping along, is going to require Iran's cooperation. And Iran will say, they'll say, okay, let's lift the sanctions. All of these Western sanctions imposed on us, they have to be lifted immediately. And the U.S. military forces have to be withdrawn from the Gulf. Now, Iran they made the offer 2 days ago saying, hey, we'll allow the oil to flow out of the Persian Gulf for any country that forces the U.S. and Israeli presence out of their country. Cut your relationships with the United States and Israel, and you can have our oil. I don't know if anyone's taken them up on that yet, but the offer's out there.
So basically, all Iran has to do is just hold out, right? All they've got to do is keep the strait closed, keep firing missiles at Israel and American bases, and basically they don't have to do anything else. I mean, we can bomb them for 10 years. We'll destroy a lot of buildings, but unless we can stop the missiles being fired, we haven't won the war. And Trump, I mean, he can bluster and brag and lie all he wants, but we are in a pickle that I don't think we've been in a very long time.
Yeah.
Our military, and I see Dan Kane, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, give a news conference with Pete Hegseth, and he looks like, man, I don't want to be here next to this goofball Hegseth. That he's putting our military in great harm, and it seems like Trump doesn't care. All Trump wants to do is win, and he doesn't mind sacrificing millions of lives as long as he can brag that, oh, we won and we're so great, and look, nobody can touch us. I mean,
he's trying right now to declare victory and cite that we have decisively defeated Iran. And he may try that, but the problem is Iran gets a vote.
Yeah.
And Iran has said, no, we're not going to stop. So it'll confront Trump with we've won, we've withdrawn, and then the media will be filled with story after story, day after day, of Iran has hit another U.S. military facility in the Persian Gulf, and Iran continues to hit Israel. Israel up to this point has gotten away with lying, covering up what's happening to it, but I think that's going to come to an end.
And this is a video, I believe, of Tel Aviv, and this has been going on for days now, that nothing is being really shot down. Everything that is being fired is hitting the ground. And I mean, they cannot cover this up. I mean, this is unbelievable that last night Iran said that they launched, I believe, 3 hours of missiles. And these missiles they're launching now have I think a ton warhead, and then they just released another one which was a ton and a half or something like that. So they're launching their really big payload missiles at Israel, and none of them being shot down. So
one way that I think they're calculating this is so the warhead separates and releases individual warheads. Some are decoys, some are real. Each one is about 40 pounds. Okay, 20. I heard 20 kilos. So yeah, about 40 pounds. But let's go with 20 pounds just to be modest. 20 times 80 is 1,600 pounds. What's a ton? 2,000 pounds. So,
yeah.
so that may be one way that they're getting to that number. So yeah, but these are, Israel does not have an air defense system that can stop this, nor does the United States. And this will continue. And unlike, Iran can absorb a lot of punishment because it is a huge country and it's got almost 100 million people. Israel, in fact, to put it in perspective, Iran is 3 times the size of Ukraine. So as big as Ukraine is, and as much territory as Russia has had to cover there, Iran's 3 times the size of that, 4 times the size of Iraq. That's number one, and it's got 10 times the population of Israel. So Israel and the United States trying to hit Iran, they've got a lot of people, a lot of territory to cover. There's not just, it's not like you hit 2 or 3 targets and they're going to be crippled. Whereas in Israel, it's just the opposite. Israel's got 2 basic main cities, Jerusalem, Haifa, Tel Aviv. And all Iran has to do is just focus on Tel Aviv and Haifa. And they don't have to worry about a big expansive country. So just from the standpoint of the small size of Israel, Israel cannot take as much punishment.
Yeah, I mean, they're a teeny country, and you would think common sense would dictate, why are we doing this? We're so small and they're so big. And I think they're basically avoiding Jerusalem right now. They're mainly hitting what you said, Tel Aviv and Haifa. But yesterday it came out that Iran had totally obliterated the Israeli oil infrastructure in the Haifa port.
Yeah.
And now they're hitting the major Israeli air bases. But this came out yesterday, and they said that the head of the Mossad was killed in an airstrike, possibly Netanyahu wounded. Have you heard anything about that?
Haven't heard that. I heard that Ben Gvir, one of the radical right crazies, that he was wounded and possibly killed. So I hadn't heard that they got the head of Mossad, but that
they said that they were. He was in a meeting with Netanyahu. He was killed, and they've also said that they killed the head of the Air Force. And Iran listed all the people that they claim that they've killed, and it's over. If you count it all up, well over 1,000 people that they are eliminating. And we don't know, is Netanyahu still alive? Have anybody heard from him?
Well, last I heard, he was in Germany. And yeah, so he hasn't gone back to Israel. He stayed out of it.
He hasn't gone back to Israel, huh?
No, no.
Okay, yeah. So he's hiding in a bunker in Germany, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a leader and you why aren't you protecting your people in your own country? I mean, that is totally insane. So this is what, day number 11, 12?
That's 12. I mean, if you got 28, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, day 12.
Day 12. So I believe that
and in fact it will be in another 5 hours. It'll be day 13.
Day 13. And Donald Trump, I mean, I can't believe people believe him after all the lies that it's like last year when they bombed the nuclear sites in Iran, he declared that Iran's nuclear program was over. We destroyed it all. And then now they're saying, oh, we're going back in to finish it. Well, which is it, Mr. Trump? Did we destroy it or we didn't?
Yeah.
And I mean, how are we going to destroy it? Or are we? Or can we?
No, we can't. We're just going to waste military resources. Our decisions are likely going to mean that Iran will have a nuclear weapon this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's just a matter of is the new supreme leader, is he going to lift his father's fatwa?
I think he did. I think he announced that we are going to seek a weapon, and it was reported that North Korea, Kim Jong-un, has offered to send some of his, and we're watching to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "I'm not my father," and with everything that just happened, we are going to acquire weapons, and I believe they have enough uranium now for 6 or 10 bombs or something like that. They still, what is your?
It still have to be enriched. It's at the 60% level. It'd have to be enriched up over 90%. But Ted Postle's conclusion was that he thinks if they made the decision to do it, they could do it pretty rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't even know if maybe Russia or China smuggled something in with all their help. And Putin is smiling, and Xi Jinping. I mean, this is probably the best thing to ever happen to their country, because now we're suffering. A lot of our equipment is gone. All of these billion-dollar radars that we relied on for the Middle East. Is Iran going to kick us out of the Middle East permanently? I mean, it does look like that. If this continues, we will have to flee the Middle East.
Yeah, very well. Could be a condition to end the war, and that would be, it's going to be a big loss of face for the United States. The way this is going to play out politically in the United States, this is the destruction of the Republicans. So they
Oh,
have,
yeah.
yeah, and not that the Democrats have anything better to offer, but this will have alienated such a large portion of people that once supported the Republicans, and will now no longer do so.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the elections going on, all the special elections over the past year, Democrats have pretty much won all of them. And in Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, her seat has come up for reelection. And
Right.
now there is I believe, a retired general that has a good chance of replacing Marjorie Taylor in the Senate. And if that happens, then
Well, she's in the House. She's not in the Senate.
okay, in the House. But I believe that's going to tip the balance of Democrats and Republicans, and maybe Mike Johnson will lose his leadership spot. I mean, if that happens, believe that's a political end of Trump. So anyway, what's your closing remarks? I know you have to go in a few minutes. Just give us maybe a little prediction of the next couple of weeks, if you can.
You're going to see increased desperation on the part of Donald Trump trying to get out of this mess. You're going to see Iran holding fast, and the economic indicators are going to turn radically south. Right now they've been insulated and on hope that Trump would be able to secure a victory or some stalemate, but that's not going to happen. So we're on the cusp of the beginning of a historic economic global crisis.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So I do want to thank Larry Johnson, former CIA. You can find him on sonar21.com, sonar21.com, where he leaves, articles, videos, and his expert analysis of the situation. Thank you, Larry,
Hey,
for
Paul.
coming on the channel.
Thank you.
And we will see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. So this was Larry Johnson, folks. One of the most intelligent, highly educated, and probably one of the best military analysts that is alive today. So it doesn't look like that things are getting any better, does it? I mean, we've been reporting this. That the largest refinery, all of these oil refineries are going up in the Middle East. Let me get this on the screen for you. Welcome to our channel. If this is your first time here, please make sure that you are subscribed and hit the notification bell. But we do have more breaking news for you guys. Largest refinery in the Middle East on fire after drone strike. And this has happened actually yesterday. The United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, confirms Iranian drones impacted the Ruwas industrial complex. Authorities are battling a fire at the scene but report no injuries. There are many businesses at the Rwanda's industrial complex, including the fourth largest oil refinery in the world. It is yet unclear if the refinery is what's burning, but it appears from the massive plume of smoke that it is the refinery. This fits the pattern of Iran retaliatory strikes in the ongoing conflict. Day number 12, oil already spiked sharply. Brent was over $120 a barrel. So, folks, this is very serious that Iran is systematically destroying a lot of the infrastructure in the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait. Like Larry said, 25% of the oil and natural gas from the Middle East is offline. It's offline, folks, and this is going to cause the greatest economic shock, the greatest environmental catastrophe with all of these oil tankers being sunk. We are living in history right now. Donald Trump is going to go down as the man that caused the worst economic collapse, I believe, in history, and America's worst military defeat. I mean, we might win the war, okay? We might win the war by dropping nuclear bombs on Iran, but folks, I believe that we are on a time clock right now, that Iran is still stating that we're not going to end the war. We're going to keep going. We're going to punish you so bad that you will never, ever think about coming back into the Middle East. And will Trump accept that? I don't think so, because Trump doesn't like to be called a loser. So he's going to escalate, folks. I believe Trump is going to escalate, resulting in more deaths of American soldiers. And this is not going to end. And a lot of people don't realize that the Iranian leadership made provisions if the Ayatollah al-Khamenei was killed, that their military would keep on going, that they would not have to rely on directions from the capital of Tehran. Military now in Iran is on autopilot, and no one can turn it off. I want to read this to you because it's very important to give you an underlying analysis of what is really going. Iran is not on a suicide mission. It is now on autopilot, and nobody in Tehran can reach the controls. In 2003, Major General Muhammad Ali Jafari watched the United States decapitate Saddam Hussein in Iraq, centralized command structure in just 3 weeks. He spent the next 4 years in the IRGC Strategic Studies Center designing a military architecture that could never be decapitated by airstrikes. In September of 2007, he was appointed the IRGC commander and immediately restructured Iran's entire military into 31 autonomous provincial commands, one per province, each with independent headquarters, command and control, missile and drone arsenals, fast attack boat flotillas, integrated militias, pre-designated launch authority, stockpiled munitions, and sealed contingency orders. The doctrine was built for one scenario: the death of the supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. That scenario arrived on February the 28th, 2026. The military doctrine activated within hours. It has been running ever since. The question nobody has asked is whether anyone inside the Islamic Republic can turn it off. The reason is constitutional. Article 110 of Iran's 1979 constitution vests solely command authority over all of the armed forces in Iran exclusively in the supreme leader authority. He alone is the commander-in-chief. He alone appoints and dismisses military leadership. No other institution, not the president, not the parliament, not the guardian council, not the judiciary, possesses constitutional power to issue military orders or rescind the supreme leader's directives. Allah Khamenei issued the pre-designation orders. Allah Khamenei is dead. Mojtaba Khamenei, his son, was appointed successor on the 8th of March. He has not spoken. He has not appeared. He has issued no verifiable order. He was wounded in an airstrike and has never addressed his nation in his life. The sole constitutional authority that could override 31 autonomous command exists in an office occupied by a man who may not be capable of exercising it. So these 31 commands that have been distributed all across Iran, they are not disobeying orders. They are obeying the orders set out by Ayatollah Khamenei. The last order Khamenei gave was fight independently with whatever you have for as long as it takes without waiting for instructions that may never come. Those orders were designed to survive the death of the man who issued them. That was the entire purpose of Jafari's 20-year project. So this is what is going on, folks, that the Iran military leadership is on autopilot, that they are independently picking targets and firing at Israel, at U.S. targets without control from Tehran because the Ayatollah was killed. And this war is not going to stop because the foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi of Iran, said that we're not going to negotiate with Donald Trump anymore because they lied to us and they attacked us twice during peace negotiations. So Donald Trump may lie. He may tell the American people the war is going to be over soon, that this was just a small incursion. Folks, Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist. He is a pathological liar. The war is getting worse. It's not getting better. There is no off-ramp for the United States, and this war now is out of control, and we don't control the outcome. Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and our Pentagon, they do not realize that we do not control the outcome of this war now. Iran does. Iran is in the driver's seat. They are dictating the events that are happening now on the ground because we have bombed over 6,000 targets in the last 12 days. We have decimated parts of Tehran. We have leveled a lot of buildings, but the missiles keep coming in day after day, week after week. And it doesn't look like they are slowing down. So all of this leads to one conclusion that Larry Johnson and I agree with, that this is going to lead to the biggest economic shock the world has ever seen. And I do believe that once the American people wake up and realize that Donald Trump has been lying to them and this war is not going to end, and once the true nature of the fuel shortage that is occurring right now hits their pocketbooks, their gas pumps, and when inflation starts going up, when shortages of food and all other things start being in short supply, they're finally going to wake up and see, well, Trump lied to us again. He didn't tell us the truth. And it's going to get a lot worse, folks. I mean, I really don't see the United States of America, I really don't see our country waking up until it affects their pocketbook, until it affects the stock market. You know, like I said, Donald Trump, he got on TV and he lied, and he said that, oh, this war is going to be over soon. It's just a small excursion, and everything's under control. We have reached all of our goals, and now it's time to end the war. But folks, I mean, look at this, okay? I want you to look at this again. We've got a lot of videos, but this is the missiles that are raining down on Israel. And basically, none of them right now are being shot down, okay? They're not being shot down. They are raining down hundreds of these ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, raining down on Israel every single day. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed. The oil supply shock is going to be massive. And the world will finally wake up if this continues week after week, month after month, that they're finally going to realize that Donald Trump is nothing but a liar. And we're not going to see an end to this until Iran tells the world that we have ended the war. You know? And look at this picture, folks. Listen. This is Donald Trump. Trump is getting tired of the Iranian war and has been asking his generals, why is it taking so long for Iran to surrender? Because he doesn't understand this is not a game, that we have started a holy war. Okay? The United States, we have started a holy war in the Middle East by killing the spiritual leader, Ayatollah Khomeini. We started a holy war, a jihad, a fatwa has been issued against Israel in the United States. We are in a holy war, and the Iranians are not going to stop until they destroy all of our military bases, kick us out of the Middle East, and destroy Israel. And that is what I keep telling everybody. I do think that Israel eventually will use nuclear bombs to stop the war, and I don't even know if that will stop the war. So, you know, where is the end to this? Is there going to be an end anytime soon? I don't think so. But I do want to thank you guys. I want to show you the headlines here. Let me get the headlines for you. What is going on? But we are living in historic times. We are living in biblical times, and I don't think it's going to get better, folks. This is breaking news headlines. Iran ramps up strikes. They are more defiant than ever. Cargo ships are hit in the Straits of Hormuz. Trump miscalculated Iran's response. At least 150 U.S. troops have been wounded so far. The IEA largest ever oil reserve release. All of this information now coming in, and it's not getting any better. Let me see the price of oil. I did have that for you. Price of oil right now is hovering about $85 a barrel. And that is largely because Donald Trump has lied to the American people and told the American people, you know, we've reached all of our military objective. It's time for the war to end. We want to end it. But Iran says no. Iran says, no, we're not going to end the war. So believe what you want. You can believe Trump, or you can believe the truth that we are giving you. So I do want to let you know, folks, that this is biblical, what we are facing. And I want to make sure everybody watching us right now has a chance to understand the ramifications of what we are living through today. You know, we're all going to die one day, folks. Listen, we're all going to die, whether that's from a heart attack, a stroke, a car wreck, a gunshot, a mass shooting, or a nuclear war. We're all going to die. And when you die, you're either going to one place or the other, either in heaven or hell. But you get to choose. And if you cannot see that we are living in the last days and things are getting worse around the world, then you're blind. But I do want to give you hope that there is hope after death. And that hope lies in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Savior of the world. And if you do want to go to heaven when you die, and have your sins forgiven. If you will bow your head, repent of your sins, and ask Jesus Christ to forgive you, he will right now, wherever you are. If you will just repeat this prayer. Dear Jesus, I know that I'm a sinner, Lord, and I ask you right now to forgive me of all of my sins and wash them away with your precious blood. I do believe that you are the Son of God, and I do believe that you died on the cross and you shed your blood for me, and you rose again the third day. Thank you, Jesus, for saving my soul. Thank you, Jesus, for forgiving all of my sins, and thank you, Jesus, for giving me eternal life. Amen. Folks, it's getting very critical what is happening right now. It's unbelievable the amount of damage that Iran is inflicting on Israel and American bases throughout the Middle East, and it's not over. I mean, I would really be shocked if Iran came out and said, okay, we're going to end the war, but there's going to have to be concessions that all the sanctions on Iran be lifted, that America and Israel write down that we will never attack you again, and other conditions that Iran is going to require the United States to end this war. And I don't think Trump's going to sign that. I don't think Trump is going to agree with Iran's conditions to end the war. I don't think he's going to do that. So for the foreseeable future, you just better get ready for higher gas prices, more inflation, a possible economic collapse bigger than anything we have ever seen. But we're going to try to keep you updated as best as we can. I do want to thank everybody for watching today on Rumble. We have Driveway, The Watchman 75, ED209H. Please share videos out, folks. Please tell everybody that we are on Rumble. For all of you guys that are just joining our channel, we were deleted by YouTube last Friday morning. Okay, YouTube deleted our channel of 20,000 subscribers, and we are now full-time on Rumble. We do have a backup channel on YouTube with the same name, Off-Grid Desert Farming News with Paul and Adrian, but we're not going to try to build up a large channel on YouTube again because we have been deleted twice, folks. So we're going to be here full-time, whether you like it or not. I cannot take a chance on spending all that time and energy trying to build a channel again just to have it deleted by YouTube. So tell your friends, your relatives that, this is where we are at. And we're going to leave all the links in the description box. Please go to Adrian's channel, Art and Gardens by Adrian, Adrian's Art and Gardens, where we're going to be doing updates on our upcoming broadcast. And also I'll be doing videos with Adrian. But folks, we haven't went anywhere, okay? We're still here. We're on Rumble. And unfortunately, people don't take the time to look for us on YouTube. All they got to do is type in Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian, and our new YouTube channel will come up. But, hopefully people will take the time to try to find out what happened to Off-Grid Desert Farming. We haven't went anywhere. So thank you. God bless you. We're going to go ahead and get off now. If there's anything major happening, we'll try to get back on and let you know about that. But until then, we'll probably see you guys tomorrow. God bless you. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you. He's coming back soon. Don't be caught dead without him. Bye-bye.